Hello and welcome. Today on the sofa we have Harriet, who is running for Wellbeing Officer. Please introduce yourself and tell us why you're running.
Sure, so my name is Harriet. I'm a third year applied psychology student.
Okay.
I'm also the president and co-founder of the Mental Health Awareness and Support Society.
All right.
And that kind of leads into why I'm running. So I'm passionate about student wellbeing, having worked in that sort of area for the past couple of years now.
Okay.
I'm personally passionate about myself as well, about student wellbeing and my own wellbeing. So I think I've got the experience to carry it through.
Okay, so if we were to continue with that, what would you say is your absolute key motivation for being Wellbeing Officer?
Increasing student wellbeing, I guess.
Okay.
I know
Yeah.
that sounds really stupid because it's the kind of role.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're in a really fortunate and powerful position to help improve student wellbeing.
Okay.
And I mean, your degree in education and things might be the reason that you come to university, but
Okay.
your wellbeing is the reason you stay.
All right, no, that's definitely true. I mean, currently at the uni has a nightline, a mental wellbeing and counselling service, workshops, a headspace drop-in session.
Yeah.
Do you not think we need better promotion for these services?
Absolutely, definitely, and working on a couple of those myself as well. That's something that we've tried to work at a society level.
Yeah.
But definitely, and a more structured student support service as well, so people know where to go for what kinds of issues. So one of the things that I would suggest is mental health first aid training for staff and students, and that'll help everyone be able to spot the signs a little bit better, and with increased awareness and understanding of the structure, be able to direct students then to the right services. But I think, like you say, we've got so many amazing things already in place.
Yeah.
People need to know about it and know which level they can go in at.
Okay, so going on with that, do you not think that if promotion is needed, then your role as a wellbeing officer is just a case of marketing?
It definitely has a lot of that, absolutely. I mean, the role is to promote student well-being, and therefore if these things already exist, then there's no point reinventing the wheel. It's definitely got to be a massive part of that. I'm not going to pretend to have all the answers or be able to do everything myself, but if I can listen to these students and use my position as a platform to not necessarily change things but maybe promote things, then yeah, that's got to be what my job is.
Okay, so let's say you are elected as Wellbeing Officer, then what would your number one priority be?
Oh, this is difficult. It comes back to just promoting student well-being. It sounds really, really obvious, but well-being is something that affects every student. They might not think it does. They might think that just because they've not had to go through mitigating circumstances, or they've not had to get counselling, for example, it doesn't affect them, but it's a spectrum, and everyone is somewhere on that spectrum. So if we can make, if a student's well-being is already really good, if we can make it a little bit better, that's still beneficial. So I think there's scope to improve on every level.
Okay, so talking more specifically about student well-being, house prices.
Yes.
I mean, it's needless to say they are a bit expensive. How would you go around tackling this situation?
Okay, one of my policies is actually a comparison site and a student experience sharing platform, I guess, to help recommend good landlords and lettings agencies, but also maybe some experiences that were perhaps a bit more negative, to help guide students in certain directions. I know with me and my housemates, we kind of went in blind thinking we don't really know what we're looking for, but I think if students are more informed what they need to look for, they can actually judge whether they're getting value for money.
Definitely, yeah. So how do you plan on getting the students involved with this policy?
Well, I'm actually currently working with someone who suggested a similar idea to Union Council, so we're kind of working together to sort of develop it. And one of her ideas was actually to email out to all students a questionnaire to fill in, with maybe some sort of free recall boxes for them to fill in their own experiences, to try and, like you say, engage all students. Because if you just sort of put it out there and say,
they're not going to be aware
let us
of it,
know it will have like a TripAdvisor effect, whether you where you get really, really good or really, really bad. But we want the middle as well. It's important to get the best image and full scope.
Definitely. Okay, so continuing with the idea of expenses, food around the uni, that's obviously expensive as well. How do you plan on reducing the prices, or do you have any specific ideas that you want to include?
Definitely, yeah, and this is something that I think is close to a lot of students, well, every student's heart. I'm going to put it out there. So my idea was to introduce happy food hours.
Okay.
So towards the end of the day, when maybe service is slowing down a little bit, people are starting to go home perhaps, reducing the price of food that would ordinarily get thrown away. So short dated stock, for example, things like sandwiches, salads, fruit, that kind of thing. If it's just going to get thrown, why not say half the price? The union can sell it when they would have already thrown it away, so they win, and students can buy cheaper food, so we win.
I mean, if that's the case, then what about students that start at like 9 a.m. and maybe finish a couple of hours before the happy hour, which I'm guessing you want to put around maybe 4-ish or something? Like
4, 5.
So what about
6.
students that finish earlier? Then obviously they have to spend the day and they'd still go with the original prices.
Absolutely, and it's all about making these small steps one at a time. So perhaps it would start off as like 5 till 6, but then also having like promotional hours. So these sort of random pop-ups of from now until 1 o'clock or whatever, things are 25% off. We'd have to see how that went first and how the union responded to it. It's all well and good me saying I'm going to go in and make food much cheaper, but I think you've got to be realistic. I mean, just sticking with that, because obviously in the past many of the wellbeing officers before have stated that they are going to make the food prices cheaper, but it's never really happened. No, because it can't be done necessarily that quickly and that absolutely. So that's why I think with a lot of my policies as well, they will kind of happen in like a stepwise fashion, and I think that's when my experience comes in. I kind of understand what you can do, what is achievable, and it can be worked on, so it can be escalated up. So it would start off as maybe 1 hour, but then if the union respond well to it, students respond well to it, that if everyone's winning, why don't we increase that?
Definitely. Okay, so one of the claims you have made is you want to introduce an idea of pay before your party pack. Would students really want to pay before they actually go out and start drinking?
See, this is another thing where it would have to obviously go through a trial period, like anything. And again, something that I would introduce in steps, for example. So students already buy their ticket before they go out. That's something that happens. So maybe adding on, first of all, taxi vouchers and starting with just the OB union journey. And I have actually spoken to a few first years about this, like before lectures and stuff. And they did seem keen, and I think students generally want to try and budget and keep track of their money, and this is just a way for them to help, a way to help them do that. So it's just a way to facilitate those who are already keen to do it. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna make sure every student buys one. But for those who want to budget, and this is also a way of knowing that you're going to get home, definitely. So how are you going to ensure that this actually works out financially better for the students? Because would it not be better just to buy drinks individually than a whole pack? So in terms of the budgeting aspect, it's taking the taxi vouchers as an example, so you don't end up spending money, for example, your taxi fare on drinks, and then you can't end up getting home. So it's more of a guarantee that you're going to be able to get home. In terms of the drinks vouchers, obviously it wouldn't replace money completely, so if students then decided they wanted to spend more on the night, they could do. But if, for example, a student wanted to say spend a certain amount on a Friday night, they could put that to one side, they could buy their party pack, and they know that their night is covered and their night is sorted. But it gives obviously scope for adjustment.
Yeah, definitely.
If they want to buy more.
Okay, so before we end off this episode, we're gonna do a little quick game.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a word association game.
Oh,
I'm sure you know. So we're gonna fire out some words, and first word that comes into your head, just shout it out quickly. Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
This is really embarrassing.
All right. So here's the first one: union,
council,
well-being,
officer,
students,
executives,
inspiration.
Oh no.
Oh, you've got to be quick.
I'm thinking of a cloud.
If that's your inspiration, I mean, Harriet.
Smailes.
Lust.
Interview.
Goal.
Football.
Change.
Promise.
Leicester.
Union.
Thank you so much for coming,
Oh
Harriet.
my goodness,
Good luck for the elections. Thank you.